Today I sat down on my couch, a little bit bored, not much to do during lockdown. I pulled out my phone and I launched Call of Duty Mobile, which I haven't played in quite a while, and I haven't played at all actually since I got my new iPhone. And when I started playing it, I noticed that the graphics are actually kind of amazing for a mobile game. They really look very good. Comparing it to, let's say, a 360 or PS3 Call of Duty game, I'd say it's on par, maybe in some ways better, other ways a little bit worse, but it really does look like a console game. Not a next-gen console game, but it's a very good-looking game. And it made me think about how current hardware, be it in Android or iPhone, is incredibly powerful now. And yet, when we look at the mobile gaming landscape, I feel as if there are so many games being held back by the traditional way in which mobile games are monetized, where there's a lot of that get you in for free, get you into the experience, you're enjoying it for about an hour, but then after that you have to start spending money to really enjoy the game. And I feel as if the quality of the game suffer as a result, as there's a lot of meaningless tasks, not a lot of content. And really, I can't say I've ever played a mobile game that has made me anywhere near as fulfilled as a really good, let's say, console RPG. I've seen a few titles that strive for that, and even on Apple Arcade there's some decent stuff. But from a hardware perspective, now that these devices are so powerful, could they potentially be running console games? Obviously, I don't expect smartphones to be running games to the same quality level as a PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X. After all, I don't think my iPhone could render the second frame of Miles Morales without bursting into flames. However, if the graphics of these games are heavily reduced to the same degree we see on the Switch, for example can play Doom Eternal, which just has to cut the frame rate in half and reduce a lot of the assets, but it is possible in some of these experiences where the fundamentals of the game can be placed onto a mobile device, they just need to have their graphics reduced. But with hardware getting so powerful and capable now, hopefully those reductions will be less than we have seen in the past. There is the second barrier though for traditional console games, and that is the interface on an iPhone or an Android phone. Using a touchscreen for certain games is just appalling in terms of trying to interact with it. I'm trying to imagine myself playing something like The Witcher 3 using a touchscreen, and it's something that I don't think I could even bear. However, I don't think developers should be too shy about saying that for certain games you should be using a Bluetooth controller. And there are some absolutely fantastic solutions out there on the market where you can hold the Bluetooth controller, which then connects into a mini holder for your phone. So it's effectively operating like an Nvidia Shield type deal, which I've seen some people do, and it really makes it look like a traditional handheld. But the real problem left is the software, because there aren't enough games, I think, to take advantage of this. So the reason I would like it is obvious. I would love to bring these console quality games around with me in my pocket, hopefully even retain saves maybe between certain consoles. That would be absolutely excellent. Imagine something like Xbox Game Pass allowing you to play games not just through xCloud, but actually mobile versions of them, reduced graphics, so you don't have to worry so much about having an internet connection maybe when you're out and about. However, the reason I think this might be me being a bit optimistic is just that the profitability of traditional mobile games is so high with all of these somewhat exploitative approaches to monetization that I don't think publishers or developers are really going to be motivated to do this, because why change things if it's going so well already? Because I think it's true to say that people playing on their phones are more inclined and more ready to spend money in a microtransaction form than traditional gamer, where we've seen that try to be shoehorned into a lot of big games on console and it just hasn't worked. So they have to stick to the traditional format, whereas in the mobile world I think a lot of developers or publishers would just say, well, we could bring these epic experiences to mobile, but why do it when we can make so much money elsewhere? Because ultimately these projects do take time to do. Like, I'm not even trying to say it's a matter of greed. To make these ports would take time. It's a matter of manpower, and if they just don't think they can make a sufficient return, then I can see why they don't do it, or we don't see it very often, unfortunately. It would be potentially very niche, especially, as I said, if we're talking about games that effectively have to be played with a Bluetooth controller. That immediately limits a huge number of people, if not the majority of people, that use smartphones. So it's something I would love to see. It's something from a hardware perspective I see true potential in. However, unfortunately, there are just some circumstances that make it very unlikely to happen. It's why I don't think we have seen it happen, despite smartphones being such an essential part of our lives now. So this has just been my thoughts on mobile gaming and how I would absolutely love it if we started to see more, shall we say, Nintendo Switch style gaming on things like our iPhones and our Androids. As always, people, thanks very much for watching and see you next time.